Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Laura at Hyperstamper. I made this very large 7 3/4 by 10, that's a big one, junk journal, out of a 1906 book using this beautiful plate from a children's book from the 1930s. So it's wonderful. The cover of the book, unfortunately, had been scribbled on by a child, and I could not repair the scribbles. It was called Sunday Reading for the Young. A really wonderful book, but what's great is the back advertisements for other books and readings are still intact there. So I added some fun ribbons that match this beautiful plate, which is called Canaries. And a little child, and I found this in a lot of books. They used to outline the birds in pencil, and I'm going to find out why they did that, if it was for tracing purposes or just a fun thing to do. So I did erase some of that, and it's just, I think it's stunning, the colors. I've added some vintage crocheted flowers on here. So let me take you on a little journey. It's not entirely bird themed, but I've added a ton of bird ephemera, authentic, antique and vintage ephemera, and especially this one here, which I didn't even attach because it's got quite a bit of value, and you can check that out on Etsy or eBay. It's an original 1923 copy of the 1913 painting, and it is very sought after. It's birds, nests, and their eggs. A wonderful book. So I thought if somebody wanted to frame that, they could, or you could do whatever you like with it, but I didn't attach it for that reason. And I know some people are saying, why don't you just sell it like that and make 20 bucks? And it's like, no, I can't be bothered. Journals are my thing. So this is the original first page. It was just too brittle to put on this side. So I used some of my vintage tape to just prepare a rip there. And yeah, that's the original page. So I'm just going to tuck, well, actually, I'm going to set that aside. This is from the Audubon vintage book from the 70s on nature. And this was the bird chapter. Now this here is really cool. It is a very old postcard from 1906, and it's funny because I thought some maybe person pasted these feathers on here, but they didn't. That is the postcard, and I could tell because there's a little flap of felt, and then you can see under there that it is blank. So that was actually intended for how it was supposed to look. So that is a really cool postcard. Bird postcard there, and then I've got this great vintage dictionary page with the lovely bird there. And this is awesome. This is from the early 1900s. Look at this little Boy Scout who won this birdhouse contest. No kidding, it's fantastic. Look at that. I love it. So I thought that was pretty cool for a bird book. And then this here is also early 1900s from Birds of North America. And it is a double-sided plate, and it looks like it's brand new and it's on glossy paper, but it is truly over 100 years old, and it's just spectacular. That would have been a very expensive book in the day. This here is a little duck there. Oh, look, it says Canuck up there. I'm a Canuck. It's slang for Canadian. It's so cool. This is from a phone company, and that is a data entry card with some data on it. It reminds me of an old player piano roll, and that is vintage. And then this here is very cool from 1963, and I just put it in here because it's awfully fun. Look at that car, an MGB. Do you remember those? That is so cool. So I just put some paper on the back of that, vintage paper, so you could journal on there. Kind of a cool piece. Turn it into a card for your fella. This is another vintage bird page out of Birds of North America. And then this here is a really cool little piece. And this is to get a catalog or a pattern from the rug hooking company, Showcraft in Baltimore, Maryland. And you would have, see there, you would have put 1/4 in the little pocket here, sealed it and sent it back. How neat is that? I just think that's so fun. And believe it or not, that is from the late 50s. I love it. Finches. Just pulled that out of a Finches and Canary book. There's that Audubon page again with the blue jays. And I've got my little binoculars here because when I see the blue jays and the cardinals in my yard, I pull these out, my antique. They're actually opera glasses. How cool is that? Isn't that neat? And yeah, I thought that was kind of fun. And I look at my blue jays. Here is just a really cool early 1900s double-sided plate for different plants there in the wilderness. Just a fun little piece here. This little family's looking for deer tracks. This is a plate from the early 1900s, a street in Jerusalem. So you can journal on there as well. And a 1950s receipt and a really cool twill, non-twisting twill. Isn't that cool? A whole roll there. And that is from the early 1920s. I made this card here out of a wonderful little children's page and a 1938 flinch card, number 3. I can change that number out. When you purchase your journal, you have that option to change anything or ask for more. This I love. That's a 1940s page. This I love. Look at this. Siblings, sister and brother. Look at how beautiful these kids are. They're just, oh, it's mesmerizing, isn't it? I just love it. And then we've got 1890s guard watchman dial, and you can journal on the backs of these or use them for other creative projects. And this is just another really fun piece from the early 1900s on roomy, comfortable chairs, which they do not look like either of those things. Just gonna set that aside, I don't wanna fight with it. And this is cool. This is a envelope from 1947 that I've got here with a great stamp on it. So I attached it this way. And then this also, if you check this out on eBay, it's worth about $10, $7 American. And it's Father's Day, or no, a dad's birthday card, I believe. Look how great that is. There's the dad relaxing in this chair. It's got the original little tassel on there. I love it. That's so cool. So anyways, I tucked that in there. And then a great plate with a fox on it. It was double-sided. And this is really beautiful here. It looks like a brand new card. It is not. It is actually from 1906. Isn't that beautiful? I love it. European card there. And then this is really cool. It's from a 1940s parenting book. And we've got Dad's Deluxe Diaper Service with the pins, the diaper pins. Oh my gosh. Cracks me up. And yeah, of course, Mom wakes up and puts on her pearls and her dress and skirt every day to take care of the baby. That's what we all do, right? Times have changed and gone by. This is another one of my palmistry books from the early 1900s, and this one is of C.H. Parkhurst, a reverend, a famous reverend. Another bird, swans down here, and a beautiful vintage bird page here. Gorgeous. Another one here, that's actually this one is 1937. So not quite antique, but very old. Look at the toucan. Odd birds, birds of prey. And then this is just a beautiful early 1900s poetry book page, but lots I put in here because it has tons of room to journal on. And this is from a 1940s Canaries and Budgies book. Look at how vivid these are. I love this page, so I didn't want to fold it or anything. Look at what is wrong with this. He looks broken. And this one here is my favorite. Look at that frill. It's a frill. I've never even heard of that. We don't get these exotic birds up here in the Great White North. Just a really fun little page there, and from the early 1900s, from a children's book, Bird Thoughts, a little poem about birds. And I just put the back cover of this bird book, Golden Nature Guide, in there for fun. Ta-da! Another gorgeous plate here, also has some value, and you could cut that off if you wanted and frame that as well. Lovely, came from the same book as this one. Another bird book. This is a page out of this book that I'm using as the journal base. Sunday Reading for the Young. This is a hand-typed research card here. Research is on 1894. Children's book page there. Just a really old page here to journal on. A bird, cuckoo in the clock. Little hymn there, a little bluebird song here. And this is from the 1890s. Gorgeous little poem here about children. Spectacular image, quite lovely. And this is just from a 1956 Up One Pair of Stairs book. Just a really whimsical little image there and very colorful. And then I made this little cutoff book here. And it's got birds from a vintage bird book on there. Birds, 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 and other fun things. And then we've got a hymn here and antique paper to finish it off. So I hope you love it as much as I loved making it. You can see this and some of my other journals at hyperstamper.etsy.com. Come back soon. Don't forget to subscribe and leave me a comment. Bye for now.